Welcome back. We've got a special guest in studio with us this morning, the ice guru himself, Randy Finch, live with us this morning, although we are not talking ice. We're talking pumpkins and some really unique ways to get your pumpkin carving going for this holiday season. Thanks so much for being here,
Thanks for
Randy.
having me on here. Yes.
What all do you have here with us
We
today?
have everything from growing to carving all the way through. We've got some fun stuff.
Yeah,
so
really
I want to
cool
start
stuff.
it out with, these are molds, okay?
Ah.
You'll see that they used to make them out of cast iron, but they have the shape there. They bolt together front
Seems
and
kinda,
back.
it seems
No, they're
pretty
lightweight
heavy. Okay.
plastic. And then they bolt together on the sides. You put your flour as you're growing the pumpkins. You get a good flour inside of here, bolt it down, and then the pumpkin will grow and be forced into the shape. So at the end, you'll have either a Frankenstein,
That
a skull.
is fascinating. Really kind of
hearts.
doing the work for you. You don't have to do any carving because it just grows in the shape.
In that shape. And
Okay,
what's
cool.
nice about those is when they do grow out like that, usually the carving is what really rots the pumpkin because it actually exposes it, right? So if you've got something cool like this, it'll last all season because it grows in that shape. So it's sealed up, it's hard, it's not gonna rot.
That's something to keep in mind because once you cut that pumpkin open, that sort of takes
where it
away
goes
the
here.
life of it.
And you can find these online. They're about $40 or $50.
Okay.
And it doesn't always work the first time. I usually have to do 2 or 3, but they're fun when they come out.
Maybe some trial and error there.
Absolutely. And then what I wanted to show too is this is another one that we've done, and people have done this in the past. This is called scarring.
Okay.
So while the pumpkins are being grown, we go in the field and we actually carve on these. We have a small portable laser that we take. Put it on there and it engraves in the design.
Okay.
And then once that heals, that's what you're seeing here. This color or the discoloration, these are actually healed parts of the scarred pumpkins. So we have like little bats and things like that that we can carve in. It doesn't have to be a laser. You can do it with a knife or a chisel or something.
And it's essentially like a scab
that's
left there.
It is.
Okay.
I don't really like to use the word scab so much on it, but that's okay. But you're true. It is a scab. It's a scab on it. So it heals it. So it's neat. Again, it's a natural design on there. And again, because of the fact that it's healed,
you're not disrupting the pumpkin.
That's it. So it's going to last again like that. And the nice thing is, as these weren't grown very long, but if you start them early on, then obviously as the pumpkin grows, the size grows.
It gets
so you
bigger.
can carve a small design.
And earlier this morning, you were talking about your secret mix here, letting us in on that, which will help to preserve that pumpkin a little bit longer. Tell us what's in the secret bottle,
Absolutely.
Randy.
So definitely when you're carving your pumpkins, you'll notice that a lot of you'll get bugs, you'll get all kinds of other things, and the rotting. So what we do is we take a little solution with a little bit of bleach or some type of an acid in there, and then we use Tabasco sauce. So the bleach will kill off the bacteria on these, and then the Tabasco sauce is for our little furry friends there, squirrels and things like that, having the pumpkin buffet on that.
Okay, good tip, good to know.
And then another tip I'd like to tell people too, if you've got a couple different pieces of pumpkin, let's say you want to do a witch with a nose on it, things like that, you can use skewers to pin them together, but we also use super glue. And amazingly, super glue glues pumpkin to pumpkin. It's so strange, but it sucks it together, and you get this elongated pieces. You can go outside of the shape.
Yeah, so Randy is really helping you get creative this Halloween season, and he brought plenty of tools here with him. I told him it feels like I'm at the dentist's office with the different tools you have here to really get creative with carving pumpkins.
It is.
Intricate.
They have a lot of tools you can buy in the stores, but what we find, we'll go through and we'll find other tools for different reasons.
And just see what works.
Right. Like, for instance, this is a perforation tool, and we can take this. A lot of times you'll take a drawing, and then you'll poke the holes through. But with these, like a sewing pinwheel, right? You can draw along there, and it's a lot easier to poke the holes through, and then you'll see them inside the skin.
And it allows you to do like shapes and stuff too, so you're not just having to do straight, but can get fun with like the cursive we're seeing here.
Exactly.
I love it.
It lasts a lot longer on there. So, and of course the chainsaws, we use the chainsaws because we have a lot of bigger ones, but I don't really recommend that at home for the kids.
Leave that to the pros, folks. That's why we brought Randy here, because you will be doing some
I'm going to come down here
for us this morning. Let me get out of your way.
Kind of show you where we're at with these things. So what's nice, we talked about this earlier, with these headsets. Basically, you can put in a design in a drawing form, put it inside this headset, put the headset on, and then I can see everything here, but I also see the lines.
Who knew that we were using VR headsets for carving carving pumpkins
Right.
now.
Well, that's technology, right?
Yeah.
So we use this for chalk drawing, all kinds of fun things. But when pumpkin season came around, it was a natural progression.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
So again, these are the tools that we like to use. These are kind of converted over. You can use chisels, but these are a lot of clay tools that you'll find. And so basically, again, we'll sketch on here, but if you take these, you can kind of see where it cuts in a little bit right
and you
there.
mentioned that these pumpkins were all refrigerated before you got to doing this work. Does that sort of help with the carving process?
It helps with the longevity of it so much. It's more about keeping them refrigerated, keeping them cold so they'll last longer.
Right.
Especially once they get carved. So we have the luxury of a giant freezer we turn into a walk-in cooler during this time. So we have tables set up in there, we carve in there. So we're not getting these, the decay and the rotting on the pumpkins.
Yeah, want to
They'll
keep these
last much
pumpkins
longer.
around. We still got a few days before Halloween.
Exactly. And some of these we start early. Like we did 20 pumpkins 2 weeks ago for the Tigers. When they're in the playoffs. We do all their pumpkins and
So with your spray, with the refrigeration, how long can we anticipate these pumpkins will
well,
stick
once you get them outside, if you do have colder weather outside, they can last 2-3 weeks easily.
Nice.
Obviously, they'll soften up and things like that, but usually 2 to 3 weeks once they're carved like that, if they're in a chilled environment. Obviously, once it starts to warm up a little bit, you'll start to get some of the decay and things, which is kind of fun. So if you do a scary face that starts rotting, it actually looks scarier.
Then you got a different look.
Yes. So with these things, one of the things that I tell people is if you can kind of use your finger as a guide to, when you're drawing it along, it's kind of like you're pointing it as you're going through. So it kind of gives you a little bit more control. And then we just kind of go through, and I'll do kind of a light line first.
Okay.
And you kind of, that gives you a guide. So as you get deeper and deeper into there, it kind of carves it up.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead.
That makes sense. Do your outline first, then go deeper into the carve.
Exactly. It's not a race. You know, it's fun. We want to have fun with the different tools and stuff that we're using. And I think that it's always been a family activity. And so I love to do, for all ages, different things. People have different techniques and styles. I know a lot of times what I see a lot now is people doing the paintings on there.
Yeah.
So they'll do different paintings. And that, again, that's also great with the digital headsets.
Well, that's what's so fun about it. I mean, nowadays, you can just get so creative with the different ways. Like you said, maybe you want to paint. Maybe you want to have it grow in one of these molds and then do something else with it to make it even more your design after it's in that shape already. Or use one of these other fun tools. The limits, or there really is no limit, it seems like, Randy.
No, really. It's just your imagination. And what's nice about the pumpkins is they're so forgiving. And they're not very expensive either, right? You get a couple of $5 pumpkins and play around. If you mess up, no big deal.
Well, you did mention that this is like a family-friendly event. We know this, that families often do this together. How young is too young? When can we get the kids involved in this activity?
Well, I wouldn't start them out when you're really young with the chainsaws. I think you let that for a little older.
Hold off a little bit for that.
But it's more about the tools, right? So again, I have a lot of my friends that'll do like painting on there, so they'll sketch some drawings.
Okay.
So obviously that's safer if you've got paints and markers, things like that. A permanent marker works great. If you're using permanent marker and you mess up, you can take a little isopropyl alcohol and then rub it on there and it'll erase it.
Okay,
so
perfect. Well, we've got about 60 seconds left, Randy. How do you get started? Like, how do you get the creative process going of, okay, what am I going to do on this pumpkin?
Well, for instance, this one here, because I didn't have much time, I decided to do something a little simple. So we have a pumpkin pie. So,
I get it, the pie sign.
So, but usually it depends on the season. We have a lot of people that want the scary stuff. We just did Zoo Goes Boo at the zoo here.
Yep, and you've got an event coming up this week that will have some of your designs.
Absolutely. High Five GR has got a wonderful masquerade party going on this Thursday, Devil's Night, and we're doing a lot of pumpkin decorations all throughout, and so that'll be fun. And then we've got our silent discos, obviously, on Friday nights. We do a lot of pumpkins for that.
Yeah, Randy, so great seeing you. I appreciate you waking up early with us, not seeing him with the ice today, but got a lot of cool tips on how to carve your next pumpkin. Randy, can't thank you enough. Thanks for being here.
Thanks.